Coming up next on KPBS Evening Edition, San Diego's police chief goes to City Hall to talk about how he's addressing misconduct problems in his department.
And San Diego families get help to put food on their tables. The Americans Feeding Americans project comes to town. KPBS Evening Edition starts now.
Hello, thanks for joining us. I'm Joanne Farian.
And I'm Dwayne Brown. There is growing opposition to San Diego Gas and Electric's proposed rate hike. In fact, even the Public Utility Commission's own consumer agency says rates should go down, not up.
Plus, San Diego researchers are hoping they can stop what they're calling an epidemic in the Imperial Valley, where nearly 40% of children are obese. That's coming up. But first, some of today's headlines.
San Diego's police chief went before the city council today to address misconduct problems in his department. Chief William Lansdowne says he's still taking 7 to 8 calls a day on a tip line set up after 11 recent investigations of officer misconduct. He says the economic downturn is at the root of problems faced by department personnel. Among the issues he's had to deal with are financial problems, divorce, loss of housing. Lansdowne says they've started a wellness program to improve employee health and morale. City officials also noted there are more than 1,800 cops on the force, and the 11 misconduct cases represent less than 1% of department personnel.
Well, last night we told you about the slow process of fixing San Diego's broken roads. Now, a city council committee has approved a list of street and sidewalk repairs that private industry can bid on. A Voice of San Diego report revealed the city borrowed money to fix potholes and other road problems, but only half that money was spent. City officials blame bureaucracy for slowing down the process of awarding contracts. Now, the council's rules committee has approved a list of jobs for managed competition. Now, that's the same process the city is using to seek a manager for the Miramar landfill. Those jobs include filling potholes and asphalt repair. The full council still has to approve that list.
Last night, we also took a look at wildfire preparations in the county. Today, firefighters got a chance to test those preparations. A small brush fire broke out in the San Pasqual Valley near the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. It only burned about 5 acres before firefighters contained it. The cause is under investigation tonight. Fire officials have been on edge, of course, since October is usually a high fire danger month, and hot weather is expected throughout Southern California through tomorrow.
Another Camp Pendleton Marine has been killed in combat in Afghanistan. 24-year-old Lance Corporal Benjamin Whetstone Schmidt died in Helmand Province last Thursday. Governor Jerry Brown has ordered all flags at the state capitol to be flown at half-staff today in Schmidt's honor.
Truckloads of help for the hungry rolled into town today. The Americans Feeding Americans project came to San Diego, providing some much-needed relief for families affected by the sluggish economy.
Sunny day in San Diego.
Many of these people were on their feet standing in line at 0700 this morning. 3 hours before the first box of goodies were handed out.
5:30.
We're in the Murphy Canyon area, a stone's throw away from military housing. Big day for about 800 families who are receiving free food and much-needed supplies. This 23-year-old Navy wife and mother of 3 says it's her first time receiving food donations.
It's not surprising that this many people came to get the help. It's very surprising to me to see this many people helping.
My family has participated in some of their camps and free ticket program. We've also used their neighborhood exchange, and every little bit helps. The San Diego Armed Services YMCA makes military life easier.
So we're seeing about a 40% increase in the number of people asking for help nationwide, an increase in single mothers, an increase in senior citizens, an increase in intact families all across the board. People who for the first time in their lives are not able to meet their own responsibilities.
Now, Feed the Children also provided about 800 civilian families in southeastern San Diego food to feed a family of 4 for a week. Organizers say this problem has become common since the recession hit in 2009. The charity's next stop is El Centro, where the unemployment rate there is the highest in the nation.
A former drug house in Tijuana is being taken over by the Boys and Girls Club. 4 years ago, the Mexican Army had raided the home in one of Tijuana's poorest communities. It's been sitting empty ever since. Today, it was turned over to the Boys and Girls Club with plans to serve up to 150 children in a month.
Millions restored to San Diego City schools as part of the final state budget are in jeopardy. Lagging state revenues are likely to trigger cuts to K-12 education across the state. KPBS education reporter Kyla Calvert joins us from the news center. So, Kyla, how much does the school district stand to lose?
Well, Dwayne, city schools would lose about $30 million in January if state revenues don't pick up significantly before the end of the year. Right now, those revenues are about $700 million behind projections. So district officials are saying that they would have to spend their remaining reserve funds, sell several pieces of property, and also lay off about 60 full-time equivalent employees if those cuts go through.
Now, the school district's operating budget is about $1 billion. Does $30 million make a big difference here?
Well, the district has had to make cuts each of the last 6 years, and up to this point, those cuts have totaled about $450 million. So district officials say they've really already cut to the bone, and if they're forced to spend their reserve funds this year, that'll just deepen the hole that they're looking at for the 2012-13 school year, up to as much as $118 million. So Superintendent Bill Koba told Board of Education trustees that all of this could mean that the district would be looking at insolvency next year.
KPBS education reporter Kyla Calvert.
This week, the Public Utilities Commission is holding hearings on a rate increase for San Diego Gas and Electric. Tonight, County Supervisor Diane Jacob is among those opposing the request. The power company is asking for a $1.5 billion increase. Jacob says SDG&E's rates already exceed those of other utilities. In a moment, we'll talk to the head of a watchdog group who says 2 studies show rates should go down, not up. But first, here's what the proposal would mean on your bill. SDG&E is allowed to ask the PUC for an increase every 4 years. This time, they're asking for about a 3% increase for customers. So a typical monthly winter bill for inland customers would increase from $125.50 to $129.82. And a summer bill for those same customers would go up from $124.50 to $128.34. SDG&E says the impact of the increase will vary based on the customer's actual monthly usage and by season and climate. Joining me to talk about the rate increase proposal is Michael Shames, Executive Director of the Utility Consumer Action Network. Michael, thanks for being here.
Glad to be here. Let's get to work.
Okay, now your group is a watchdog group. What is your position on SDG&E's rate increase proposal?
UCAN's experts said SDG&E's rates should be lowered, not increased, not kept at the same level, should actually go down. And they were joined by another independent entity, the Public Utilities Commission staff, that said the same thing.
The DRA.
That's correct.
And they are a, as you say, independent agency, an arm of the Public Utilities Commission. They also said that rates should be decreased by 3%.
That's correct.
So then under what circumstance can SDG&E ask for rate hikes? Explain how we end up with this difference.
SDG&E is a regulated private company. It has to go to the regulators and say, our costs are such that we need to increase our rates by this much, and they have to justify their costs. When our experts looked at their costs, looked at their books, looked at the records, looked at the needs of the market, they said, well, you know, SDG&E has inflated all of its costs. They've inflated all their needs. And when you look at what they really should be doing, they should actually be reducing rates. But the big battle with among the experts, and this is very arcane stuff, is does SDG&E's costs justify an increase or not? And that's what we'll be battling in a hearing in December up in San Francisco. Right now, there's something else going on, where the public is being asked to weigh in on this proposed rate increase.
First of all, let's let the people at home know that we did invite SDG&E to be part of this conversation. However, they declined. Now, when you talk about they can ask for increases based on cost, they cannot ask for an increase, though, based on commodity or transmission.
Correct. SDG&E is not, they have in the past in other kind of proceedings, but in this proceeding, it's all about not electricity, not natural gas costs, it's about their cost of operations.
But they are a for-profit publicly traded company, so they can also ask for profit. They can build that into their ask, can they not?
Absolutely, and they have very successfully. This company over the last 3 years, in the midst of our recession, has been enjoying 11 and 12% annual profits. No other company in America has done that, except maybe Apple.
So the public is being asked to weigh in now in these hearings. What are you hearing them tell the PUC?
There are two messages right now being conveyed by the public who attend these hearings. First is, folks, we're in the middle of the worst recession in our lifetimes. This is not the time to be raising rates if you can at all avoid them. The second message is from a lot of owners of solar generation, of what's called photovoltaic cells that people put on their roofs to produce their own electricity. And they're very upset at a new plan that SDG&E announced to start charging these solar customers for just having access to the lines, the distribution lines, even if those customers are not using any SDG&E power.
So while SDG&E declined our invitation to be here, they did speak with one of our reporters earlier in the week, Stephanie Donovan, a spokesperson for the company, and she, as you mentioned, said that their costs have gone up and that people at home should be able to relate to that, people who run a business, that they are only allowed to go and ask for this every 4 years. So they're now planning ahead over the next 4 years. Is there not some sort of merit in that in that argument?
There's no question. Some of their costs have gone up. The problem is a lot of their costs haven't, or there are a lot of projects, for example, that they want to build now that can be deferred. They want to add some additional protection to a transmission line that leads up to Mount Laguna. It's a $14 million investment. It will serve 32 homes. Our expert says, is this really necessary to spend $14 million to serve 32 homes right now? Could this be put off? These are the kinds of questions that our experts raised.
How often in the past when SDG&E goes before the board does the actual DRA agree with you as well? Because, I mean, people at home will argue, well, you're looking out for the consumer. Of course you don't want to hike. But for the DRA to come out and say, yeah, there should be a decrease as well, how often does that happen?
Rarely. Rarely. In fact, the last two cases with SDG&E, the PUC staff, DRA, actually settled the case with SDG&E over our objections. So it was a real surprise, frankly, to find they were asking for a greater rate decrease than even our experts. It was a pleasant surprise.
So do these hearings make a difference? Does all of this discussion make a difference in the end with the PUC when they come down and make a decision?
You know, they really do. This time around they do. We have a new commission, 3 appointees from Jerry Brown, 1 a former consumer advocate, who know this stuff. They're asking good questions, and they're really interested in stuff beyond just what the utility tells them. So we have a new commission. And the commissioners ultimately are probably going to make the decision not based on all the experts fighting, but on the sentiment of the customers and what those customers feel they can absorb. And so having customers come to these hearings, I think this time around, could make a real difference.
Quickly, Michael, before we go, how can they find out how to get to the last day of hearings?
The UCAN website, ucan.org, and we have them posted prominently.
Michael Shames, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
Foreign students brought in close to $3 billion to California universities last year. But since 9/11, it's become more difficult for foreign students to get visas to study here. The federal government is working to strike a balance between bringing in more students and keeping the country safe. The story from our Fronteras desk in just a moment. This is KPBS Evening Edition.
Tonight, KPBS goes to the dogs. From the tiniest Chihuahua to the largest St. Bernard, all dogs claim wolf as their ancestor. Starting at 8, the evolution of dogs on Nature. Then at 9, Nature continues as dogs are put to work, bred for herders, hunters, and guard dogs. And at 10, dogs' uncanny ability to read and respond to human emotions. That's all tonight on KPBS.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
My name's Jackson Brody. I'm a private investigator.
He's very good at finding people. Really?
Don't you need a warrant for that? A good idea. Do a couple. Luckily, I'm not anymore. My daughter was murdered, Mr. Brody. A man walked in off the street and slaughtered her in broad daylight.
Who's that?
Her name's Laura.
I think fate brought you to us, Mr. Brody.
I don't believe in fate.
I think you do.
Not really.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Watch a new Masterpiece Mystery, Sunday at 9 on KPBS. KPBS Evening Edition is made possible by Joan and Irwin Jacobs and by
Close to 700,000 international students study on U.S. college campuses. Navigating the visa process can be a big challenge for foreign students following the attacks on 9/11, but the federal government is taking steps to make it easier to study here while still keeping the country safe from terrorists. From our Fronteras desk, Jill Replogo reports.
Walk around a California university campus these days and you're likely to hear Chinese, Vietnamese, Hindi, and a variety of other languages along with English. California is the country's top destination for international students. At this UC San Diego bioengineering lab, 6 out of 10 students are from other countries. Dib Sengupta is a fourth-year PhD student from India. He's studying ways to better diagnose and treat Kawasaki disease, a rare condition that can cause heart attacks in children. Sengupta says the U.S. was an obvious choice for graduate study in his field.
Me, my friends, my seniors, all of us, we share a unanimous sort of opinion that the kind of research in general which is performed in the U.S., it's much better than any other country.
While the U.S. continues to be a top destination for international students, some school and government officials say we should be doing more to encourage students like Sengupta to study here. For one thing, in this tough economy, international students bring in much-needed cash. California has the largest number of foreign students in the country, 94,000 last year. Those students brought in $2.8 billion in tuition and fees and living expenses. International students pay out-of-state tuition at public universities.
And that helps the campus budget tremendously. And given the budget cuts that we've had over the last several years, that income is very, very important to maintain the academic quality here at UC San Diego, make sure we can continue to hire new faculty members and researchers. And it also keeps the cost for our resident students down.
Plus, experts say the knowledge and talent international students bring help the country stay competitive in today's global market. But studying in the U.S. got a lot more complicated after it was discovered that 2 of the 9/11 hijackers had been in the country on student visas. The government completely revamped the system, adding additional background checks and a process to track students while they're in the country. The clampdown led to a drop in foreign student enrollment for the first time in 30 years. Enrollment again picked up starting in 2006 and has continued to rise. Now President Barack Obama says he wants to make it easier for foreign students to study and stay here.
Instead of training entrepreneurs to stay here, we train them to create jobs for our competition. That makes no sense. In a global marketplace, we need all the talent we can attract, all the talent we can get to stay here, to start businesses.
Last month, the government launched Study in the States, a website designed to help international students find an American school and navigate the tricky visa process. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano said the feds would also examine regulatory changes, although they haven't set a timeline or given any details. Back at the engineering lab, most of the international students said they'd like to stay and work after they graduate. But they're realistic about their chances of getting a company or university to sponsor their work visa.
Of course, I want to stay here after I graduate, but then sometimes it's not entirely in my control as well.
That was Jill Replogo reporting from our Fronteras desk. Several bills from both Democrats and Republicans in Congress are designed to make it easier for companies to hire foreign workers, but most observers say any immigration reform is unlikely in the sharply divided Congress.
Yesterday, we told you the childhood obesity rate in Imperial Valley is the highest in the state, about 39%. The San Diego State Graduate School of Public Health wants to help lower that number. The school has been awarded $6 million, the largest grant it's ever received from the Centers for Disease Control, to study and implement healthy eating strategies for kids living in the Imperial Valley. Joining me to talk about the project is Dr. Guadalupe Ayala, a professor in SDSU's Graduate School of Public Health and the grant's lead investigator. Dr. Ayala, thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me, Joanne. I appreciate it.
So tell us about how kids in Imperial County fare compared to kids across California when it comes to the obesity rate.
What we're finding based on both statistics that have been collected statewide as well as locally in a few projects that we've been involved in, is that the rate seems to be 10 to 15 to almost 20% higher depending on what you're comparing it to. So in California, the childhood obesity rate, depending on where you're looking, is about 28%. But we're finding, based on our research, that in Pearl County it's anywhere from 39 to 50%.
Do you know why? Do you know why it's higher here in Imperial County?
You know, there are a number of factors that really lead to or explain sort of this obesity epidemic. One of the factors that we see in this community in particular is just the high unemployment rates. And so kind of that leads to, is associated with poverty, often food insecurity, feeling really insecure about your ability to kind of meet the daily needs. When people are kind of under those conditions, they're not often thinking about the healthiest options, whether it's healthy eating or physical activity. So they're sort of just basing kind of what they do on a day-to-day basis.
And what we've been learning really is that poverty leads to obesity, doesn't it? That people tend to buy sort of that cheaper, more fattening food.
Exactly. So what we find is definitely an association between poverty and obesity, and part of it is definitely related to the choices that people make, what options they have available, but there's also a stress component as well. So people who are in poverty, that sort of affects the immune system, which then puts people at a greater risk. I mean, so it's really a multitude of factors, and I think one of the things that we're trying to do with this demonstration study is really try to work in all the environments that kids are exposed to, because not a community-wide effort is really what's needed here. We don't need individual approaches in homes or schools or restaurants or grocery stores. We need an integrated approach, and that's really what we're trying to take with this project.
So how do you do that then? What will this study or project do specifically?
Well, the first thing is we've identified some fantastic partners. So we're partnering with the Imperial County Public Health Department that's been working a lot in daycare centers. They're very interested in doing some of the community garden work that a lot of people are doing across the country. Clínicas de Salud del Pueblo, which is a federally qualified health center, they have really good reach into the community in terms of healthcare needs. So we know that doctors, pediatricians specifically, need to be involved in this effort. Without their kind of endorsement, families are not going to want to make those same changes. And we're also, so those are our key partners, but we're also working with the Parks and Recreation Department to try and improve accessibility to activity promoting resources. We want to work with the schools and the daycare centers to not only improve the environment so that they have opportunities to be physically active, drink water. One of the factors that we see now in schools is that although we have laws around access to sugar-sweetened beverages, we don't have the concurrent push for healthier options. So that's one of the things that we really want to focus on in the schools as well as the daycare centers, is have those options available.
I did read somewhere about the water is an issue too, that we have water fountains that really aren't working in schools.
Exactly.
Kids don't even have access to water.
Exactly, right. I mean, it was really shocking to us. And this is not limited to Imperial County. I mean, this is really nationwide. Our community infrastructures, but partly because of the economy, are sort of crumbling. And so schools don't have the resources to make those improvements. And so we've identified approaches that are relatively low cost, that are appealing to kids, because obviously, you can create an environment that's health promoting, but the kids don't like it, then they're not going to engage in the behavior. So we've identified water jets, among other things, as one approach to be able to do that.
So you've got 1,500 kids in this study. It'll last 4 years. At the end of the day, what do you hope you'll do for the Imperial County, and do you think that could sort of spread across the country in terms of teaching parents and kids how to eat better?
Exactly. Well, the project itself is a partnership with, obviously, CDC, the funding agency, and they're going to be very involved in this process. But there are also 2 other sites who have been funded, so the University of Texas Health Sciences Center and the Massachusetts Public Health Department. And so we're hoping that through all of our efforts, we'll identify sort of the best practices after this 4-year period, so that then it could actually, that we have to prepare a report to Congress that's then going to determine where funding priorities will go.
Dr. Ayala, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
We'll have a recap of tonight's top stories in a moment, and your thoughts about SDG&E's request for rate increase. This is KPBS Evening Edition.
I'm Jeffrey Brown. On the next News Hour, Republican candidates debate in New Hampshire, plus Supreme Court arguments over strip searches. That's Wednesday on the PBS News Hour.
In the last year, KPBS News has been honored with nearly 36 awards. I'm extremely proud of these honors, and I thank you for your support as we continue to serve our local communities with award-winning news coverage in the years to come.
KPBS goes to the dogs with a night of exploring the remarkable bond between dog and man. At 8, a two-part nature delves into the rise of the dog in human society and how man designed dogs to meet our specific needs. At 10, Nova reveals the science behind the unique relationship we share with our furry friends. Then, Through the Dog's Eyes follows the emotional journey of those with disabilities as they're matched with the perfect canine companion. Tonight at 8 on KPBS.
Welcome back to the Public Square on KPBS Evening Edition. Earlier in the show, we talked about SDG&E's proposed rate increases. The utility is inviting the public to weigh in. Well, you've been telling us what you think online, and we'd like to share some of your responses. On our website, Dee Allen says it seems less and less likely that the people who decide these things care what the public says. So these hearings are a bit of a farce. And Daniel Beeman says when the rate should be going down because we've met the state's request to reduce energy use more renewable energy. Well, you can weigh in on the conversation by following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, and of course you can always email us. That's news@kpbs.org. We'd love to hear from you.
Now, recapping tonight's top stories, San Diego's police chief went before City Council today with an update on how he's responding to misconduct reports in his department. 11 officers have been involved in cases ranging from drunk driving to domestic violence. Chief William Lansdowne says the economy is a major factor, and he's implemented a 7-step plan to address the problem. It includes more ethics training and wellness screening for officers. And a reminder, we are in fire season. A small brush fire broke out near the San Diego Zoo Safari Park today. Firefighters kept it to just 5 acres, but they are still on alert. Hot weather is expected to continue through tomorrow. You can watch and comment on any of the stories you saw tonight on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition.
Well, thanks for watching. As Dwayne just mentioned, we're expecting another very warm day tomorrow, so we'll leave you with a look at the forecast.
Good night.